What do you envision?
Well, I think the arts, magic is sort of it's often viewed as a sub-art, although there are magicians currently who do it very artistically. So it's kind of in that quasi-art slot. And I think my desire is to romance people with the house. I've been romanced by magic. It hasn't just been, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? I've been romanced by the history of magic. I've been romanced by the methods. These people that create these methods, who got that counterintuitive? That a person could watch it and their brain just wouldn't go there because the inventor was so counterintuitive to the way the mind usually works. I'm very interested in methodology, not because I know something you don't know, but because it's fascinating. I want people to come through here, and this house has the capacity to romance people with magic.
I agree.
And I just want to build enough of a foundation that it's sustainable now till it falls in on itself.
I think Maggie and I got romanced by this house.
I think we did.
Yeah.
If I wasn't already.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, just as you're kind of talking, it's just something I'm curious about. What do you like about magic? Like, what drew you to magic, really, and why do you still love it?
Well, it's phases. I think you're drawn to magic in fourth grade because you want to know something other people don't know. So there's that whole stage of, I know how that works and you don't know how that works. And let's hope that's a passing stage. And then you go on to say, you learn to do a trick. And you might start out with, I know something you don't know in yourself, but then you watch their reaction to it and you get hooked on what you gave them. Mm-hmm. You gave them a moment that took them completely out of whatever troubles were happening in their lives. And they had that moment. When you look at something and go, oh, wonder like that doesn't exist in the life of an adult very often. You don't get that rush of wonderment. It exists in the life of a kid as a daily occurrence. But when you now have the capacity to give that emotion of wonderment to an adult and all that that does for a person, that ends up being your driving force. And so I'd have to say you transition to where, in fact, now I'll say, someone will show me something new that's maybe just come out on the market and someone has invented it, and they'll say, hey, you want me to show you how it's done? And I say, right. No. Don't. I know too much already, and I want to keep the wonderment every time I see that. So don't tell me. Please don't.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay.
There's a comedian one time that had said, like, we live in an era where you can't wonder anymore. That I think the example he gave is like, oh, where's that, you'd be listening to a song and it would be like, oh, I wonder where that guy is from, that lead singer. And in a certain era, before smartphones or any, the internet, it would just be like, you just have to kind of wonder. It's not going to be in an encyclopedia. This is a new band. Like,
right.
This and there. But then 6 years later, you would run into a girl wearing that band's T-shirt and be like, yes. Wait, do you know? And she said, yeah, he's from Florida. And be like, oh my God, he's from Florida.
I've wondered about that all these years.
6 years, yeah. And we are kind of living in an era where wonder it's hard to come by. It doesn't happen as naturally anymore. And especially for adults.
Yeah.
So
on the first part of our tour, you showed us all the library of books, some of the Abbott books, and so if there's one book or a piece of media that you would recommend for somebody just to be like, I'm curious about this, what would it be? Would it be the Abbott book, or would you say, would you recommend to one of our listeners, like, start here, this is an amazing book?
What are they in? I would ask, if I was sitting with one of your listeners, I would ask, what are they interested in.
I love this. Do you want to
You're
work
very
for Omaha
librarian
Public
coded. I had
Library?
the same thought. I'm like, that's a librarian right there.
It's a
Are you-
reference interview.
You're not making assumptions about what they're looking
No,
for.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, I'm very interested in magic. What should I read?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm going to have to go a little deeper than that. So what part of magic
Because there's so many
piques
parts.
your curiosity?
Yeah.
I'd love to know how to do coin tricks. Well, then start here.
Right.
I saw a guy do a rope trick. How he got the ends to disappear and then reappear, and then he cut it and put it back. Rope tricks. Then you'd start here. So you kind of have to know it's the history of magic. Well, then you'd start here.
Right.
So no, there's not a good beginner book until I know what is their compelling interest in magic.
Do you have a favorite book? What's in your personal library?
There's a book by Harry Lorraine. He's the memory guy. He used to do memory things, memory workshops and stuff. And he wrote a book called The Magic Book. That's one of my favorites. Another one is by George Armstrong, and it's called Magic Digest. I'd have to say most magicians don't even know of those the existence of those, but you can build an entire career out of what's in those books and enjoy magic for a lifetime.
Well, I almost feel like you can have an entire building dedicated to books about magic and tricks because what we've seen here and what UNO has in their
has, yes.
collection, somebody could be a magic librarian.
The first magic librarian in Omaha.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, and so the beauty of it now is so many. Of course, there's monthly magazines. I mean, it's it's a subculture that's very well developed.
For sure.
And so there's magic magazines. There's magic dealers. There's magic all of that. But so much has been digitized that the beauty is now you can go back into the early 1900s, the first magazines that hit the magic scene, and you can search for this. I mean, it's all, as with all disciplines, it's now all available online. Not books per se, but certainly all the magazines have been digitized.
With that, I want to make sure our community of listeners know like how they can support you, your organization, magicians, history buffs, curious library patrons, Maggie and Amy.
I'd say start at our website, omahamagicclub.org. You'll read about the house, you'll read about our programming, you'll read about how to donate, you'll read about how to be involved at other levels. What's so cool about this house is we are having people carve out and own different things. Obviously, the interior designer owns the furnishings and all of that. We have a master gardener who owns our garden. She said, I want to research what would be in the beds during Abbott's time. And when you go outside, you'll see she has planted beds and has labeled the plants in the beds as to what they are. And they came from a period of time where David Abbott would have them in his beds. We have people coming to the house because of how can I help? Preserve Omaha? How can we help? Can we hold workshops here? We just love old homes. So they're not just magic enthusiasts. And we have people who come because they love magic. But there's so many pieces to this that people can come for many, many different reasons. And then they own that and they say, well, boy, I really don't care about magic, but boy, to put the flowers in and get the beds to period. Great.
Yeah, there's so many aspects of this house that are, and all of those little bits that we're talking, just like they all feed into each other. That's what makes this house, I think, feel so amazing and so special walking in.
It's all needed, yeah.
So we do something for every episode. We have something called the Query of the Week. It's a question we ask our listeners, and we also ask our staff members. And the query relates to whatever the topic is. So, like, we do an episode about cars. Like, what's your dream car? And then people can like kind of answer. So for this week's query, we were asking, what's something that might as well be magic to you? So the things that it's like, I don't know, it works, Mine's car engines, airplanes, and mirrors.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, I get it, and you can explain to me over and over again. I trust that it is working.
I love that.
I don't
That's a
quite
great
know.
query.
Do you have anything that might as well be magic to you?
Currently, AI
Oh,
is magic to me.
Agreed.
We were talking about my new TikTok channel.
you have a TikTok?
Well, not yet, not yet.
I got
Maggie
so
loves
excited. I'm
TikTok.
chronically online.
New.
Okay.
See, I spent, she immediately asked, well, what is it?
I know, I was about to whip out.
No,
my
you
phone and be
can't
like,
have it
I
yet.
want it.
I'm still populating
Okay,
it.
okay.
But I spent 20 years doing leadership coaching for Tenasca. That's Howard and Rhonda Hawks' company here in Omaha. And anytime I learned something in a coaching session, I added it to my blog. Now I'm using AI to copy the blog post, and there's software that I put that in, hit generate video, and by golly, it does a wonderful video with that script from my blog post with music behind it and whatever. And then I upload it to build my channel. So eventually I've got 300 blog posts, and they all won't fit in the TikTok format, but I probably got 100 and some that'll eventually be in there for leaders, for people who want to lead. And I'm doing it because at my age, I just love relating to those that are coming into the workforce. But it's difficult for them to relate to me. And so TikTok will be a faceless, and it's not even my voice, way to share what I've gathered in 20 years with an audience that's new in a venue that's familiar to them. And so it's kind of a way of maintaining a legacy and going to the next generation through TikTok.
It's a very creative way to approach that.
Well, I'm very pleased. I'm very excited about it coming together. And then they don't have to see a 70-year-old man trying to tell them how to manage, and you don't understand because it's all different now than when you were managing, and of course it's not. But anyway, they'll get the content without anything to climb over.
Well, you have to share with us what your channel
I will.
is.
I will.
It's ready.
Yes,
We
for
will-
sure.
As soon as
Definitely consume
I'm comfortable, I'll let you know.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Did we do it?
We did do it.
Okay. Then I have a favor to ask that you sign our guest book.
Oh,
course.
absolutely.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love
Yeah.
to.